Biggest impacts over the next 6 weeks for the U.S. is, you're going to continue to see drought conditions holding in the southwest, but some improvement maybe in March. We could get a little bit of rain, but I don't think it's going to do any dent to the major drought, long-term drought. A little bit of a warm-up in the plain states in March. They can see some dry weather there. But the stormy and unsettled and cold weather, I think, is going to hang tough from the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, into the Northeast. Southern areas, they've seen some warm weather already. I think that they'll see some spring-like weather right off the bat. As far as the Northeast, I think that going into spring overall, I think they're going to have a hard time warming up on a long duration. We've had a lot of snow across the Ohio Valley this year in the Great Lakes, and they're running above normal in the Appalachians as well. But we're going to see more wet systems going into spring across that corridor, and that combination may not fit well at some point, especially as you get into April. We may have to deal with some flooding, some high rivers, streams, and a lot of flood watches being issued during that time period. I think that the biggest area of the country to watch right now is the Southwest. Even though I can see a couple big systems in the Northeast that'll make news, I'm more concerned about the drought situation in the Southwest. The drought situation in California is just at a severe level right now. 3 winters in a row that we've had to deal with this during the wet season and just haven't been able to get the snowpack to fill the reservoirs up in the spring. Everything relates from west to east across the country as far as the pattern goes. So going forward, if we can get some rain, some systems to move into the west, that will translate the warm and dryness that's been there as of late to get into the eastern Rockies and the plain states. I think that will translate there. If we don't get the systems in the west, that warmth and dryness over the western plain states may be limited. Areas that will warm up quicker over the last 6 weeks of winter are going to be areas that have been dry. The southwest especially, we'll see some warmer weather and expand, I think, out into the western plains. The perception is, the northern plains got hit very hard with some very cold air this winter. But it's interesting, if you look at the 2-week breakdown of January, the first week, minus 20 degree departures. The second week was plus 14. So there was some back and forth going on. Of course, everyone's going to remember the cold more than the mild surge. I still think that happens. I think we see more of that. There'll be some more warm surges trying to come up from the south at times, but gets back down as some colder air comes down from fronts out of northern Canada. As far as Florida goes, it's been dry. It hasn't been severely dry because they have had some rain just recently down across those areas. Some cold fronts have made it down. I do feel they get a little bit of rain going forward over the next few weeks. However, I think they could get back into a dry pattern before they actually get into their wet season in June. Severe weather for this coming year, I do feel, last year we were well below normal and we struggled as far as getting a lot of active reports. We had a couple of bad tornadoes, of course, but the amount of severe weather reports was down. This year, I think it will be more active than it was last year, but it's probably still below normal standards as you go through the heart of severe weather season.